Hello guys, and welcome to our Thursday show on DNTV and S.A.U. This is our show Just the Facts. Today's show I'm going to be talking to you guys about some of the facts that to do with paranormal equipment and things that you could possibly need in your kit, some of the must have items, and also giving you a little bit of fact about how you can get your channels and your teams out there in the most professional and proper way. So these are facts things. These are things that I feel that will help you guys to be able to reach out more, achieve more. So I hope that you do enjoy the show. I hope that you're all very, very well. And it's really good to be here and seeing you all. So I've done some research, as you all know. I always do that, showing what I was looking for. So when I've done the research, I come up with some of the, top equipment stuff that you would need in your beginner kits if you're starting out in the paranormal. And then I looked onto some other sites to see if I could find anything that would be useful to you guys in ways of being able to put yourself out there a little bit more. So hopefully this will help you. It'll give you a little bit more light into what you need to be doing. So I hope that you're all going to enjoy the show, and welcome. So I'm just going to start off doing the stuff and reading out what I got. Here it goes. Carrying out through ghost hunting investigations is a long and tedious process, and to be in with the best chance of catching some evidence, you need to have the right ghost hunting equipment with you. The larger professional teams have an array of equipment they use, some of it costly, that ordinary groups and individuals don't have the budget to buy. Below, you'll find the more popular and affordable pieces of ghost hunting equipment that you'll need for your investigations. It's not all necessary at once, as you can get started with nothing more than a decent camera. If you have a small budget, start there, then add to your ghost hunting kit over time. So let's get on with it. Here are some top recommendations for what ghost hunting equipment you need for a thorough ghost hunt. For the countless fans of ghost hunting TV shows who are itching to get out there and catch the trace and track some spirits of their own, professional ghost hunters Russ Vogel's arms beginners with all they need to start investigating, discover proven scientific methods, and the latest technology used by the pros. So obviously the first piece of ghost hunting equipment are camera recorders, okay? Whether this is a camera recorder or this is a decent phone that's got a decent video on it, that is the most important part of equipment in ghost hunting. Because if you've not got a good camera, you're not going to be getting good evidence. You're not going to be catching much of anything. Now, I do understand that over time, when you first start out, maybe your footage and stuff ain't as great as you want it to be. But as you progress and as you get into it longer, you'll be able to save money, or you may get donations and things which will help you towards getting your equipment. The most basic and necessary of all of tools for a paranormal investigation is cameras. They're not only used to capture any paranormal activity, they can be used to document your investigation. Digital cameras are the simplest and best options for amateur and professional ghost hunters alike, because you can transfer photos directly to your computer for further investigations. It saves a lot of time and money compared to developing shots taken using a film camera. The one drawback of using a digital camera can be the lack of settings to choose from in many cases, and there can be a lag period when taking your photos. But 9 times out of 10, these cameras do work. So digital cameras on your phone, if you've got a decent camera with a good video camera, these sort of equipment is really good to use. A decent camera recorder is really good. These sort of equipment can be uploaded onto your computer, that, you know, and then in that way, then you can go through your footage, you can go through your evidence and the things that you have got, and you're also able to post it up onto your social sites and social places that you want your investigation work to be going out on. The next one is IR cameras, which are known as night vision. Okay, you may want to record a video to document every experience on any investigation. For this, you're going to need a good IR, infrared night vision camera. Now, the reason for night vision cameras, because obviously with a lot of the normal camera recorders and stuff that don't have night vision and that, it's going to be very difficult to be able to see anything in the rooms or the places and locations that you're going on investigations at. With a night vision and infrared camera, you're going to be able to pick up the rooms, the places that you're at. You're going to be able to pick up anything that's in that room. So it's going to be like looking in daylight but at night. Okay, so probably a bit like looking through an owl's eye at night, where they can see the trees and see everything. So a night vision camera is really good for that. And also it is a lot better at catching the evidence, because a lot of investigators, let's face it, go out at night. Okay, so these sort of cameras will give you that opportunity to be able to see what you're investigating and to possibly catch some of your paranormal activity. And also, as it said, it does document what you get as well. And again, you can use them and download them onto social sites and get your investigations out there. Then you have got the digital recorders. Okay. In a matter of preference, whether you choose digital over analog, both have their benefits. With digital, it allows for easy uploading to a computer, and the audio file can aglue as they allow for better record keeping. Whichever digital recorder you choose is recommended that you have two with you at all times, so that you can cross-reference each during a review. So when you're going out like a digital recorder, so that would be your EVPs, okay, guys? So your little gadgets that you use to catch voices phenomena. So with these, as it says, it is good to have two. I used to, when I first started out, excuse me a minute, guys. When I first started out in my investigations, I did have two EVP recorders, because I would have my team go off and use one, and I would keep one on me. Now, digital recorders like camera recorders are really, really cool to have in your investigation kits, and are something that you really do need to have, because this will catch the phenomena of a spirit when it's talking to you. Okay, it will also pick up sounds and noises that we may not be able to hear with our own ears. So these devices are really good to take on investigations, but at the same time, you do need to remember that when you are doing that, always put into consideration other sounds that are around you, everyday life things that are going on. And when you're using these sort of equipment, if you are in a place and a strange noise that goes on that you know that's not paranormal activity, it's very important for you to clarify that in your EVPs. That was a car going by, or that was me walking. It's because you do not want to cross-contaminate your evidence. And with digital recorders, even though they're very good at getting you your evidence, they are very good at picking up things that are not paranormal related. Okay, so just bear that in mind. The next piece of equipment in your kits that you should have are torches. Now, torches are very important to have in your kits, because for the very reason that you're going around locations, you're going around buildings, and you're going to be walking in the dark. Okay. Now, if you've not got a night vision camera and you're just using a basic digital camera, you're going to need lighting. Also, this helps you to see where you're going. This also helps your team see where you are as well, so that there isn't any threat or fright that comes up on it. So torches are very important because they guide you, and they help you to stay vigilant so you can see things that are around you. As you may as you may be investigating in the dark, it's a good idea to stock up with torches. Preferably, it will be one with a red lens, but clear ones are fine too. The red lens doesn't interfere with night vision, yet it still provides you with a good light source for finding your way around the location. So you can have the white torches like that do the white light, but you have to put into consideration, don't shine them towards cameras or anything that you're using to record visual sightings of activity, because the white lenses intend to sometimes black that out, or that may cause shadowing and things in your videos. Okay, where with infrared lighting in torches, as it said here in this profile, when you're using them, it gives you the lighting to be able to see in dark locations, but it doesn't interfere with your recording equipment like your cameras and your digital cameras and things like that. It doesn't interfere, it doesn't give off shadowing or anything like that as well. So they are really good to have in your equipment, guys, and it's for safety as well. So please never ever go without torches. The next thing, and most definitely you do need this, is extra batteries, guys. Right now, anybody that does investigations and does all of this sort of thing, whether it's in paranormal, ufology, whatever it is, you do need batteries, okay? Because a lot of your equipment are run by batteries, and when you're doing your investigations, in some situations, it is found that the energies of spirits can drain your equipment, okay? So it's really, really important to have lots of batteries on you when you're investigating. Pack at least 3, maybe even 4 sets of spare batteries for each device. Spirits are known to drain the energy from fully charged devices. I've had it happen. And you never know when your batteries will run out of power. So it's always better to be prepared. And it is. And they do. They have a tendency for draining the electricity or draining battery and doing those sort of things, because that is how they get their energy. That is how they're able to manifest. That's how they can get paranormal activity going on. That's why they use such thing as energy from batteries, lighting, anything that gives off an energy to allow them to be able to become greater in their activity. The next one, and one that I most definitely agree is very important in the equipment, and I do have myself, are walkie-talkies. Okay, now it's very interesting to have walkie-talkies for the very reason, if you are in a team and you're going and you're cutting off from each other and you're going into different areas of this location, you can keep in communication. You can call to each other when something happens so that the others can come to you. Also, walkie-talkies have been known to be interfered with by spirit. Okay, I have had these experiences several times when my walkie-talkie automatically started ringing for no reason, and a very strange and very low sounding voice came over saying, "I can see you." And my team were with me, and I could see that nobody had done that. They had their walkie-talkies on their pockets. They were walking around filming. They weren't that far away from me. And my walkie-talkie went off, and there was somebody from the other side talking to me through my walkie-talkie. Okay, so not only are they good for staying in communication with your team, they can be really good to communicate with the other side. Again, it is a device that has got electrical currents, are battery operated, so why would it not be? Okay, so just put that in. If a group of you or your investigators at you're at a location and you are splitting up, it is always handy to have a walkie-talkie with you with each party, as you can cross-reference experiences as they happen. Exactly, you can cross-reference experiences. If something is going on and you need somebody to come to you, they can, because you can ring through to them. If you're in a room and you hear a bang or you hear a voice, you can clarify with your team, was that you that's just coughed? Was that you that's just made? No, then you will know that it is possibly something strange. Okay. And as I said again, they can be very useful for catching evidence of the paranormal and of spirit as well. That spirits are known to use these. The next bit, well, I didn't know that a watch would be really relevant, but it says a watch used to note the top, but a watch, a clock, to reference and to write down the times of events and activity that happened, to be able to keep track on times where you've gave people maybe an experiment you want them to do that's going to be 20-30 minutes, and they've got a clock that they can keep tab on. So having a watch in that, even though I wouldn't say it's the most important part in a ghost hunting equipment, it is important to have, because you do need to keep tabs of times of experiences. If you're going on any sort of experimental thing, watches that will come in very, very handy. Used to know the time of any experience and to time your investigation in different areas of the location. Best to buy one with an illuminating face or fingers so you can see it in the dark. Of course, you can use your phone, but we recommend using a watch as it wouldn't affect your eyes like the screen lighting of a phone would. And this is very true. Having a very little light on your watch is not going to affect you. For a lot of people, when you're doing investigations, when you're in a very dark room and you turn something on that's got light, it can interfere with your eyes and it can make you see things that you're not seeing. So in investigations, a lot of investigators try not to bring too much lighting into their investigations for the very reason of that, okay, because it could give you mixed activity. You could be seeing things that are not actually there, and it's not actually happening, but it's where your eyes are adjusting to the darkness. So it is very important. Like I said, it is important to have torches when you're walking in dark areas. You're going to need to turn it on to do that, to get to a place. But I intend to do that, and then when I get to that location and I'm in that room, I intend to turn my camera, my torch off, okay, so that my eyes are catching stuff that is really happening and my eyes are not being affected by lighting and stuff. So notepad and pens, that is a very important thing. Now, anybody that's doing investigating and stuff like that, guys, when you're out there, you will do base sweeps and stuff, okay? So this is where you'd go there when it's still light. You go around rooms, you see where all the electrical stuff is that may have set off certain equipment. You test your equipment out with that electrical stuff in those buildings. Obviously, if you're going to a location that hasn't got any electricity and stuff, it's not a problem, but I would still sweep the areas. So using these using notepads and pens are very important, because you would write down each room and each reading. So if that's EMF reading, if that's a temperature reading, also to write down when an activity started, the time, what actually happened. It's really good to document on a pad all of the experiences that you and your team have. And I would recommend that you get your teams to write about it as well. Now, I did that when I started training my guys. They don't come out with me as much now, but when they did first start out, they had their own folders that I provided them with certain things in them, and they would write about each location that they went to, the experiences, how it made them feel. They would write down any time scales, any time that any activity went on. It is really, really important to record your evidence, not just by camera, but by notepad and pen as well, okay, so that you've got it there. Because there's not being funny, sometimes equipment and stuff break, and sometimes you can lose some of that evidence. At least if you've wrote it down in the pad, you've got it there, okay? So pens and paper are most definitely very important in the paranormal. Cam recorder with night vision. A video recorder of what is going on is always a good idea, just in case you miss something with the naked eye, which is likely giving you'll be in the dark. You should carry one around with you, as well as have one or two stationary in rooms where you're not investigating. Ideally, they'll have a built-in and hard drive or a record of memory cards so you can easily upload the footage to a computer to analyze your any evidence. And that is very true. A camera recorder is a little bit different, and it can have night vision. So you've got the cameras that I bet you, which you do through your phone or through a digital camera, which is a little camera that you can do videos and do pictures on. Then you've got your basic camera recorder, which are the manual ones that you would walk around holding. Now, it is very important that you always keep a camera recorder on you, as it says in this, because you want to be documenting what you're getting as you're walking around the location. But in big locations and big areas, when you're investigating, you're not going to be able to get to every location that you're known to have paranormal activity. So setting up other camera recorders as well will get you that evidence possibly in the places that you can't reach to because you're busy doing other areas. So it is really important to have several camera recorders. And analysing your evidence is most definitely important as well. Then you've got your EMF detector. Now, EMF detectors are very important. They are used to pick up electronic field detections. Okay, so when it's said that spirits are manifested and formed by a electrical energy, okay, so these devices are used to be able to detect and supposedly monitor when a spirit is around you. But what you've also got to remember with an EMF, it can pick up other electrical currents such as wiring in walls and certain lighting and other things. Okay, so that's why doing your base sweeps in the daytime or when you get there when it's light is very important, because then you can establish the areas and the places that will give interference to your equipment, and you can establish the places that don't. So then you can clarify around that, and you can use certain equipment that won't be affected in the areas that have got the electricity or some sort of current, and you've got your camera recorders and things to go in other places. An EMF is a very good piece of equipment because it will verify where this goes on. So you're not getting cross-contaminated evidence in your paranormal. Okay, so an EMF is a very, very important piece of equipment to have, beginners or not. The EMF detector, electronic field, as known, attributes to paranormal activity. If you notice a sudden high spike in one particular area, this could relate to something paranormal. However, it could also be related to wiring. Check to see if you're near any wiring in the walls, floors, ceilings, etc. If you get an unusual reading, do your best to rule out only other sources, any other sources before you come to any conclusion. A lot of people, when they go out and investigate, they don't realize this, so that's why it's really good to have things like EMFs, because then you like I said, you can find where wiring and things are, and you can set a boundary on how far that device can be where it won't be affected by the electrical current going on in that room. Okay, there may be an area in that room where you can set it where it will not be manipulated, and this will also be able to give you evidence then. But it also stops you from getting false readings in your investigations. Okay, and if you get any unusual spikes and stuff like that, it's very, very important to never automatically presume it is paranormal, guys. Okay, not everything that we experience when we're investigating is paranormal related. So these sort of devices do help you to figure that out. Okay. An IR thermometer. Now, an IR thermometer is normally in a shape of sort of a gun sort of shape, and it has normally a red or a green or a blue laser that will beam out. And what it does is it tests the temperatures in the rooms and in the location that you're investigating. So when you go there in the daytime, along with writing down your base notes and you're going around doing your base sweeps, you would use your EMFs, you would use your IR thermometers, because as you go through the day and you continue to do the readings, you may notice changes in temperatures. Like certain areas may stay in one temperature, but then just in one little spot, it suddenly changes and drops. These can all be prime experiences that paranormal may be happening. Okay, so again, an IR thermometer like an EMF is really important to have in your kit. Sudden cold spots can often be assorted with ghosts, or having a thermometer on hand when you need it is critical. It can be used as a backup to any reading from your EMF. So if you're standing there and you're doing an EMF and you're getting some spike and something weird's going on, you could get your temperature gun out and do that as well, or get one of your team members to do it. If you're getting the same sort of reading, you may be onto something. Okay. To back up any readings for your EMF detector or other captured anomalies. Always take a base reading throughout the location first and note any drafty areas that could be caused by ventilations of old windows. So with this as well, obviously with using the thermometer and stuff, like what you would do with the EMF, looking for your wires and stuff like this, with that, you would go into locations to make sure there is no drafts coming from windows, that there's no drafts coming from the floor. You would base sweep the whole location on a regular basis just to monitor and to record the temperature changes, because that is very important in paranormal investigating, because a lot of the phenomena with spirit is that they give off cold spots, they even give off hot spots. Okay, guys, so this temperature gun will pick those up. It will normally go lower if it's picking up a cold spot or a low cold frequency, and it will normally rise higher if it's picking a more heated area and a more hot area. So these thermometers are very important to have in your ghost hunting equipment, because it will establish anything that's not paranormal related, and it will also establish paranormal related. If you want something special, you've spotted a great little product available on Amazon, and it's the Phenomenal Imager night vision camera in one. So with this one, a thermometer and camera all in one. So you've got your night vision, you've got your infrared, and you've also got your thermometer. So instead of you going out and buying loads of different pieces of equipment, even though that's not a bad thing, because then you're getting your accurate readings and stuff like that, if you have this sort of device and stuff, you can do all of that in one. Okay, so you can be looking at the temperature, you can be doing your recording, and you can also be picking up on hot areas as well as cold areas. You can be doing that all in one place. Now, these products intend to be a little bit more pricey. So if you are just starting out and you don't have a lot of money, you could gradually save up to be able to get one of these. Like I said, it's not vital. You can just buy an individual EMF, an individual IR, and a camera recorder and still do the same thing, and it's probably cheaper. Okay. But as you go on and you get more professional, you're probably going to want more professional equipment. Okay. So then you would look to this sort of device to be able to make life easier for you, because investigating is very time consuming. Then you have got a motion detector. So a motion detector, motion sensor, these are normally little devices that you can get in a circle or squared, and they have got lights that are in them. Now, they are used for picking up, again, a spirit energy. If a spirit goes towards the motion sensor or touches the motion sensor, this sensor will go off. Some of them is just lights, some of them do have sound. Okay, this is just another way of detecting that there may be something around you in that area, and it's a way of you being able to show your viewers that something paranormal may be going on. Because let's face it, a lot of people in this world cannot see spirit, and these pieces of equipment allow people to be able to see what maybe some people see with their own eyes. Like myself, I have abilities. I can see, communicate with spirit, and feel and things, but not everybody is open fully to that, even though we've all got that tendency to be able to do it. Okay, so having this sort of equipment will help you to be able to show your viewers and show your followers what you are getting. Okay, and it kind of clarifies what you're saying and what you're seeing as well. So a motion sensor, this is a good bit of kit to have set up when you're in other areas investigating. If it goes off when you're in another room, it can lead to some interesting evidence. When you set this up in an area, always make sure you have camcorders set up pointing towards it so you can review the footage to see what set it off. And that is another important thing with it. So with this, a lot of people use these because they've got to go off to other areas, like it says in this, and they can't stay in that room. So they put that motion sensor in there and it will sound off and it will let them know when something strange is occurring. Okay. When doing this sort of thing, always have a camera recorder or your phone or something, or a phone set up in that area, catching that evidence at the time, because it's okay hearing it and going to it, but then you're not catching the evidence at the time, are you? But if you've got a camera recorder or you've got something in there that can catch imaging, it's better because that evidence will be there and logged. And you may possibly even catch your first apparition or something, or somebody touching that device or doing whatever. So always have a camera recorder or some sort of recording device where you can see physically anything that's going on around that device at the time. Very important. And always have several of them. I do believe in that. Another piece of equipment that a lot of people use, I personally do not use them because I think that they're too loud and stuff like that. But you've got your SB7 spirit box. A lot of investigators do like to use that. But then you've got AK Ghost Box, AK Frank Box and stuff like that. So you've got your normal boxes that you can use. Now I intend to use more of the spirit app boxes and things like that, and I have done a lot of research and study into the ones that I've done before I've actually started using it. I've had some pretty cool evidence and stuff that you just can't clarify is not real. Okay, so I use spirit boxes. I personally do not like the SB7 box very much because I think it's too loud. It overpowers the investigations itself. You can't really hear a lot of what's going on around it when that's going off. And I have noticed through experiences and through where I see spirit and that, a lot of them get really, really freaked out by the sound of it because it's too loud and they can't hear themselves to speak, and their voices won't be heard over the devices 9 times out of 10 because it's too loud. Okay. Now, for some people, the SB7 spirit box works really well for them. For others, it don't. For me, it really doesn't. I'm not one of these that really like it because it doesn't work for me. And because of where I'm in communication quite a lot with spirit, I want to be able to hear them as much as I possibly can. So I don't personally use the SB7 spirit box. I use apps and spirit boxes that don't let off any sound or anything like that. They're just... Excuse me a minute, guys. I've put up a backing because I wanted it to look a little bit more professional, but this seems to have more other ideas. Sadly, hang on a minute, because I can't have it not hanging up because it's going to be in my way. So yeah, if you like SP7 spirit boxes, as I said, I'm not saying not to get them. I'm not saying that they're really bad equipment. They're not. They're not bad equipment if you like them, but if you're somebody that don't get on with them, then don't use them. But if you're just starting out and you've not really done investigations yet and you're not really familiar with investigations yet, try any piece of equipment, because what might not work for one person doesn't mean it's not going to work for you. Okay, so I'm not in any shape or form saying don't go out and get an SP7 spirit box, okay, because it may be really, really beneficial for you. The spirit box is a relatively new piece of ghost hunting and kit designed by Frank Sumption back in 2000 whilst he was carrying out his EVP research. The box received notoriety when the Ghost Adventures crew used it for the first time during an investigation at Allegheny Lunatic Asylum on October the 30th, 2009. So, as I said, spirit boxes are really good to use, but there are so many different types. You will need to kind of like go over quite a few of them, because some of them will not relate to you and some of them will. Okay, they're all different. How the spirit box works: the box rapidly flicks between AM frequencies with white noise as a filler. The received noises was then fed into an echo chamber on the box, which enables spirits to manipulate the noise to form words, and the output is fed into a speaker through an and those allowing communication in real time. So that was the beginning. That was the first part of it. So doing your investigations. Now, these are the sorts of pieces of equipment that are most definitely on a beginner's ghost hunting kit. Okay. And these pieces are really important to have in your kit. And obviously, if you're just starting out, first to start out with a decent voice recorder, a decent camera recorder or digital camera, and torches and stuff. Okay, guys, so that you have got that there. I personally, when I started out, I had a camera recorder, I had a digital camera, I had my EVP, which is your voice recorder. I had the motion sensor, and I also had the IR gun, and obviously torches and stuff. I did start out with quite a lot of the equipment. I think that it's really important. The more equipment that you've got, the better you've got of getting evidence and stuff. And it all depends on where you're going. Amazon and eBay are really good for getting ghost hunting equipment, and they're not that expensive depending on what you're getting. If you're just going out for individual pieces of equipment, it's a lot cheaper. But if you're wanting to go for the more prime investigation equipment, that is a lot more expensive, guys. So the choice is all yours. So part 2, carrying out through ghost hunting investigations is long and tiredness process, and to be in with the best chance of catching some evidence, you need to have the right ghost hunting equipment with you. The larger professional teams have an array of equipment they use, some of it costly, that ordinary groups and individuals don't have to budget. I think I've just read this. Yeah, I've just read this. I don't know why it's done that twice. So obviously other things that you can do when you're doing investigations, and what's really important is analoging and bringing in ways of getting your investigation stuff out there. Now, even though the best part and the most important part is when you're actually investigating a place and trying to get evidence and you're doing all your base sweeps and stuff, it's the after as well. So always analyzing your evidence, going through your evidence, putting up what you believe is of a phenomena or something that's happened. Me, I intend to put up any of my investigations that I go on, because I go live most of the time. Because even if you don't catch any evidence, it's always still very good to show people the locations that you go to. Because just because something didn't happen that day doesn't mean it doesn't happen another time that you go. And it's very important to do your analysing of your evidence, analysing of your EVPs, putting them out to as many social media sites as you possibly can that is involved in the paranormal, documenting your work, documenting what you do at your investigations, getting you and your team to write down your experiences and the strange experiences you had and the ones that feel quite normal. This is all very important when you're investigating, because it establishes the real from the not real. Okay, guys, and that is what we are out here doing. We're trying to prove that the paranormal exists, but we're also trying to prove that not everything is paranormal related. Okay, so always dialogue your work. You can even go as far as maybe doing live shows and things where you can go over your evidence with your viewers and your supporters, because that is really important as well. If you're one of these people that are wanting to be noticed for your investigations and to be respected and wanted more in your paranormal investigations, then these are the ways to do that. Like, to me personally, when you work in this line of field, it's not about fame and it's not about money. It's about the passion and the love that you have for what you do. Okay. And it's very important to document what you get, because it's evidence, it's memories, and it's dialogue. Okay. And also, it can help and learn others that may be coming into this field. So, writing down what your experiences, dialoguing your experiences, going over all of your evidence, doesn't matter how many days or weeks it takes, that is all very important, guys. And as I said, always keep an open mind and never always believe that everything that you're catching is paranormal, and never go into a location believing it's haunted. Always be open minded, because the more that you believe that something is happening or something is going on there, this can mislead your mind, and you will start hearing things, and things might start going on in your head, and that you can hear that's not actually happening. So be very open minded. I'm not saying don't believe that it's not. If you've seen evidence or you've had evidence sent to you that shows that it's haunted, that's a different story. But if you're going to a location you've never gone to before and you don't know if it's haunted, don't presume that it is, okay? And don't presume that every time something that seems quite negative goes on, that it's demonic, because 9 times out of 10, it's very rare to come across a demonic spirit. Okay, guys, normally it's just a spirit that's a bit pissed off or upset, or it's not been heard, or is trying to reach out. You know, you get a lot of these people that say about, oh, I've had 3 scratches, that's the mark of the Trinity. That's what it's so supposed to be. But 9 times out of 10, normal spirits can do the same thing. Okay, so please don't presume that every single time it's demonic. I think that the spirits themselves are put so far back in the investigations because of demonic and negative energies, when, let's be realistic, paranormal investigating is about them all. It's about negative energy and it's about good energy. Always remember that, and always have some sort of skeptical mind. Even if you're a believer, do not believe that everything that is in that location is paranormal, as your mind could start playing up and doing mad stuff. Okay, and you're having experiences that are not even happening. Hello, anonymous light, how are you? So we've got Light in the room, we've got Rigger Nicole. Hello, sweet, how are you? We have got Dawn Godly. Sorry, I've not been ignoring you, my sweethearts. I have just been reading out everything that I have got. How are you? I'm okay, thank you, darling, for asking. We have got Nigel Potter. We have got Alex Under Price. We have got Charles Rudd, Christina Bell, Annette Locke. Hello, sweetheart. How are you guys? Everybody turns. Hello, my darling. Lost Souls. Hello, my darling. Then obviously Redridge and all of those guys, DNTV, Bold and Bonk guys, all of you guys, a big shout out to you. Obviously to Coffin Crew and everybody as well that are in the YouTube area as well. Let me go over to my YouTube to see who's in there. So yeah, we've got Dawn, Christina, everybody turns. And I did have Coffin come in one of them as well. So a big shout out to all of you. And yeah, so the main factor of investigations is going out and enjoying what you do and catching the evidence, okay? But always just be very open-minded and don't presume that everything is going to be paranormal related. Just be very open-minded, and then the evidence and stuff that you get will be more prominent and real, okay? And obviously, like I said, dialogue and write down all of your activity and experiences and things like that, because it's really good to keep judgment on what you get. Get your teams and yourselves to write down your experiences, good or bad. All of this really does help. Streaming out onto networks your evidence you got to other people that follow you and support you really does help as well, because there may be things that you don't hear or see that others may. Okay, so it's really, really good to do that. And obviously, I gave you the list of the must-have pieces for your paranormal equipment, especially if you're beginners. So just look out. And like I said, you do not have to spend loads of money to get evidence. Okay, none of my equipment that I use is really expensive stuff. It's just stuff that is good and is affordable. Because let's face it, a lot of the paranormal equipment, the really good stuff, it's so expensive that a lot of people can't afford to do it, and they think, oh well, we need to have the best equipment ever to get the best evidence. You don't. Seriously, guys, you can have just the most basic equipment that you don't pay loads and loads and loads for, and it just does the job just as good. Okay, so, and I know that through my own experiences and stuff. So yeah, I'm a lot better than I have been. I still have my moments and that, but I'm doing a lot better. I have been off for a few weeks, which I do apologise on and off, guys. I've just not been feeling 100% back then, and a lot of stuff had been going on, so I needed to have a break. We all need to have a break once in a while and stuff. And to be honest, I do have a lot of shows that I do, and a lot of people that sort for me. So sometimes you do need to just say, do you know what? I need a few days to myself, and I need to be on my own for a bit, because I'm not just doing like the YouTube shows and stuff like that, and doing the DNTV shows. I'm supporting people's groups and shows. I'm running a DNTV Facebook page. I'm sorting out for other people as well. And the last couple of weeks, I've not really done very much because I've needed to have a break. Like I've needed to, like I've been so overwhelmed by everything I'm doing that I don't get 5 minutes to myself. So I've needed it. And that is important as well, guys. Look after your health and yourself. Don't overdo it. If you need a break, take a break. Just let your people know and have a break. In this field, it can be very tiring and very overpowering at times, okay? So it's very important to look after yourselves as well. Hello, Living History Mysteries. How are you, Drew? It's lovely to see you in here, darling. And that don't matter if it's paranormal, ufology, or anything. All of these equipment are good for all of that. Okay, so just bear that in mind, guys. And it's really good to have been on the show. This show's normally only meant to be half an hour, but I've gone over my time. I do apologise, Drew and everybody, but it went on a bit longer than I wanted it to. I should maybe change this show to maybe an hour. I don't know. Normally it does take half an hour, but this one was a little bit longer because it is talking to you about really important things, especially if you're going to be beginners and you're starting out in the field. And another thing that's very important that I need to clarify to you before I come off of the line: protection. Okay, you need to do your research and studying into your protection, into the energies that could be around you. You need to understand what different spirits are. You need to understand how to protect yourself. I'm not saying that all investigators like to protect themselves, but it is a very important thing to do because, let's face it, in my opinion, why would you go into a location that you don't know, communicate with energies that you don't know, and not keep yourself safe? Okay, it will not take every aspect of danger away, but it will minimize it. Okay, so protection is really important, whether that's prayers or it's spiritual necklaces, bracelets, all them sort of things. It's really, really important for you to look into how to protect yourself. Sages, different incense, stones, crystals, all this. Look into them sort of things as well, guys. Don't just start and get the equipment and go out there unacknowledgeable about the spirits, unacknowledgeable about how you would get rid of them if something was to happen, and how to protect you and your team. Safety is number one. Okay. So for me, I'm going to play out my intro, and this show is finished. I will be on Bold and Bonkers tomorrow night at 9:30, where I am going to be having Ken from the Wizard's Table joining me. Now, he is somebody that is an occultist and does do things where he works with demonic and other energies. Okay. Now, don't be presuming and being judgmental before, well, when I say that, because a lot of people are presumed to know what this is all about, and like satanic and all this sort of stuff. And it really is not as bad as what people think it is. Okay, there are different levels to this this sort of work. Okay, now he is very educated and very, very good. And if you really want to learn a little bit more history on what really demons and demonics and things are, and how they can actually sometimes help you in life, Ken is the guy for you. Okay, so join me on Bold and Bonkers show tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. UK time, which will be 4:30 p.m. his time. And you will have a very interesting talk where you can ask him questions. We'll be talking about paranormal and other things as well, because he is an investigator also. So this is going to be a really cool show. Then you've got the Bold and Bonker Boys shows on Saturday and Sunday, and you've got me on my DNTV show at 7:30 p.m. UK time on Sunday, doing an hour's show where I will either do an educational one or I'll be doing an uplifting stream where I play my tongue drum, guys. So I hope to see you all there, and I hope that you have enjoyed the show. Big shout out to all of our sponsors, supporters, and our TV people, to all of our lovelies in the room that support us and make this happen every single day. Thank you for being here, and just watch out for DNTV, Bold and Bonkers, and me over the weekend. Lots of love and light, and see you all very, very soon. See you soon. Merry parting.